Tastes so sweet, wrapped in nuts, making life complete. 'Tis cocoa, butter, little drops of divine delight, quickly keep them from sight. Gobble up, soon 'tis the plight. Some are milk and some are dark, each competing to surpass the mark, perfect to eat in the park. There is fruit, Belgian and Swiss, one to satisfy every miss, but the best are the chocolate kisses. Some are beautifully tinged, but tongues get cruelly singed when we embark on this binge. Tastes like food from the rails, and my mouth with chocolate fills, and from my soul ensues a trill. Those with toffee, some with coffee, don't dare laugh ye. Even if to my teeth it clings, my heart benignly begins to sing. Just one more, one chocolate ring. Those with yummy peppermint, they seem to have a curious tint accompanying us on our long stint. Then there are truffles, hush and muffle, control your sniffles. Let the chocolate quotient be, I say sufficient until the day I will have no other pleasure today. We light the chalice today honoring chocolate is when mingled with heat. Around you, especially those you may not recognize. Folks online, please greet others in the chat. Please rise in body or spirit and join us for a hymn found in the soft cover hymnal, number 1053.
Number 1053. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected in my soul.
Since ancient times, the role of a spiritual leader has been one to bless and certify the union of a wedding. It is a spiritual act, validating and publicly recognizing the love a couple already shares, witnessing the vows and endorsing the covenant that has been formed. Our faith tradition has conducted weddings for same-sex couples since the 1950s. Yes. And we have repeatedly and enthusiastically renewed our support for all consenting adults to marry whomever they wish. Today, I have been honored to be asked to offer a prayer to bless a newly married couple. Angela and Lauren, would you please come forward? Let's do this together. Hold on, let me get my papers ready. Okay. Let's do this. Please join me in prayer. Spirit of life and love, we are grateful for all the ways you have taught us love for one another. From the beauty of the stars, you showed us how life is not all about us, but how we are linked inexorably in a cosmic bond, caught in an interdependent web, born into community. Through the colors of the flowers, you showed us how life transitions through seasons, some more beautiful than others, but all get your piece of chocolate for chocolate communion. Please come forward. I have a second line over here. Thank you, Marion. Milk is this. There you go. You're welcome. Milk or dark? Okay. The vegan-friendly is Sour Patch Kids. Yes. May you find the sweetness of life. Dark. You're welcome. Dark chocolate. Dark, yes. May you find the sweetness of life. May you find the sweetness of life. Thank you. May you find the sweetness of life. May you find the sweetness of life, Alice. Good morning. May you find the sweetness of life. Dark milk. Dark. Is that what you want? This is milk. May you find the sweetness of life, Susan. Good morning. Dark milk. You're welcome. Dark milk. Dark milk. Good morning. Dark milk. Yes. Good morning. Dark milk. May you find the sweetness of life.
All right. Dark is
Dark milk. Yes.
All are dark, right?
and a milk
Milk.
chocolate.
Dark.
I need the nut allergy one.
The nut allergy one. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. May you find the sweetness of life.
Is there a vegan one you said?
This is the vegan one.
That's the vegan.
Yes.
Is it dark chocolate?
Dark. Yep. Dark milk. Hey, good to see you. Dark and milk. Good morning.
Thank you.
Dark and milk. Dark. Right here. May you find the sweetness of life, Phil. Careful, careful.
It's round.
Yes. Does anyone else need chocolate? I got chocolate.
How are
I'm
you?
so glad
Julie?
to see you.
Good to see you.
Oh my gosh. It's been forever. Is Deborah here too?
No, she's still unpacking today.
Okay. Well, please to give her my love. I'm so glad to see you. May you find the sweetness of life, Andrew. Thank you.
I don't think Sour Patch were vegan.
I looked it up. It said they were. Yeah, it's something else. Okay. Angel? May you find the sweetness of life. I know, I know. Hello. May you find the sweetness of life. Milk, dark. What's that?
Have a giraffe.
That's amazing. I love it. Angel? May you find the sweetness of life. Thank you. And would you mind taking, take this one back to the ushers and have them go around, and I'll have people raise their hand if they need something. Okay. All right, how many of you made it? You haven't unwrapped it yet. All right. Raise your hand if you do not yet have chocolate and you need some chocolate brought to you, and we will make sure it gets to you. Okay. Oh. Come get some of you in. May you find the sweetness of life. Lots of job perks here. Chocolate. All right, take a moment. We're all going to do it at the same time so we get through this unwrapping phase. Take a moment to unwrap your chocolate and smell it, but do not yet eat it. I know. Please join me in the spirit of prayer and meditation, followed by a moment of silence. As I offer this meditation, put your chocolate on your tongue, close your eyes, and savor all the sensations of chocolate. We give thanks for love, agape and eros, chocolate and pillow talk, and all of Cupid's arrows, for unrequited yearning and the grand passion burning, for quiet appreciation and platonic contemplation. For lovers, too, we offer thanks. Those gay and straight, near and dear, gender metamorphic or beautifully queer, for swooning adolescents and seniors in senescence, who are the bloom in life's bouquet, the hearts and flowers of Valentine's Day, for all that makes our pulses run, heart rates quicken, and keeps tickers ticking, for birds and bees and varieties of conjugation, we lift our voice in celebration. Let us take a moment of silence together, continuing to enjoy our chocolate. Amen and blessed be.
Good morning. I'd love to invite the children and youth forward for some story action. Come on up, friends. No, I'm not going to give you more chocolate. You're going to have to take that one up with Reverend Julie. I'm already like, did we really give him chocolate before we sent him to RE?
Yes.
Yay. Friends, can I get you to scoot this direction for me? Hey, my friends on this side. Can you come over this way? Hey, my friends on this side. Hey, my friends Lily and Violet and Miles and Porter. Can you guys come this direction? Thank you. Scoot, 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 scoot. Sorry. Where's the trash can? It is not in here. Can you hold on to it till after the story? Or do I just need to put it in my pocket? I'll put it in my pocket. This is the most mom thing I've done today so far. It's okay. I had to pick up a Band-Aid earlier too. It's okay. Good morning, friends. I'm so excited that you're all here today. And just a little reminder to any of our friends down here or any of our friends out there, if you signed up to participate in Mystery Pals, stop by the RE welcome table because your mystery dossier is ready to be picked up. I already delivered yours. Your mama has it. Exciting. Are you excited? I'm very excited for people to figure out who their pals are. So I have a story today, and it's another once upon a time story. Oh, very nice. Once upon a time, there was a girl whose name was Wendy. And Wendy loved grass. What can I say? She just really, really loved grass. She loved the way it felt between her toes. She loved the way it smelled when it was freshly mown. Do you guys know what that smells like when a lawn has just been mown? Can you smell it? Oh, I can smell it. It smells pretty good, I think. I don't smell it, but I can think about what it smells like. She loved the color because it's bright green. Does anyone else like bright green? Light blues are good too. Excellent. So, make the grass purple? Wendy loved grass more than just about anything else. One day, her family decided to go to the beach, and Wendy wasn't really very sure about that because she heard there wasn't grass at the beach. Come on, said her older brother. We can go swimming. You can bury me in the sand. We can look for seashells. It'll be great. Sounds like a good time. Does anyone here like to go to the beach? Every summer? So they piled in the car and off they went to the beach. I wonder what beach they went to. I wonder if they went to Orange Beach, Panama City, North Carolina, Pacific Ocean, lots of beaches. Miami, that's a little further. So, okay, let's see what Lakeshore, huh? When they got to the beach, it sure did look great, like nothing Wendy had ever seen before. But when she first touched the sand, it was way too hot. Does anyone know? Has anyone ever touched sand that was too hot? Yes, burned your feet. This isn't cool like grass, she said. I wish the sand was grass. Now, Wendy had a good luck fairy who followed her around, and when he heard her wish, he decided to grant it. And with a flash, all of the sand turned to grass. Now it was her family's turn to be like, I'm not really that sure about this. But of course, Wendy was delighted. I guess I won't get buried today, said her brother. That's okay. Let's go collect some seashells, said Mom. So everyone went down to where the water was lapping against the grass. And there were polished rocks and beautiful shells. And so they started to hunt. But all of a sudden, everyone except Wendy was excited. Ouch, she said. Oh, these rocks and shells hurt my feet. So, and they're pointy, yeah. It's definitely sharp. But what do you think Wendy said? I wish that they were grass. So she said, oh, I wish these rocks were soft like grass. But she just thought this to herself. But her good luck fairy heard her thoughts and changed all of the rocks and shells to grass. Her family looked at one another and said, well, at least they're still swimming. We can still go swimming. And so everybody laid their beach towels out, got ready to go into the swimming. And last one is a rotten egg, says her brother. Wendy's older brother ran and the waves followed closely behind. My friends, listen 1 second. But they jumped in and Wendy said, do you think Wendy liked it? No, she didn't. She said, yuck, it's too cold and wet. There wasn't even time to, right? Isn't that the point, Jasper says? There wasn't even time to think about it. The fairy changed the water into grass. And without even having to ask for it, everyone turned to her and said, Wendy? But what was she to do? But her family was very understanding. They were, after all, Unitarian Universalists. So they decided to try to make the best of it. Well, let's have lunch, said Mom and Dad, and they got out the picnic baskets and found a nice spot on the now wide lawn and spread out their checkered cloth. Wendy was in heaven. After all, didn't she love grass more than anything else? And now everything was grass. Thankfully, not the food, just the ground. So she was beginning to feel a bit bored, though. Something didn't feel just right, after all. There was no beach anymore. There was no waves. Oh, she could eat moss. There was no seagulls. All of them had gone because the ocean had gone. Grass was nice, but maybe not so much that it was like everywhere. Her dad said, "You made it." Well, her mom said, "We went to the beach, and now we're at the lawn. This isn't the way it's supposed to be." "Yeah, what do you mean?" said Wendy. "Well, you made it all the same," Dad said. I don't know if there was people. You made it all the same. You made it all the same. The rocks, the sand, the waves, each thing was different. And you made them all the same because the differences made you feel uncomfortable. But those differences are also what made them special and beautiful. And without them, there's a whole lot of things missing now. In fact, everything that makes a place what it is now missing. And that means that you are missing out on everything that you really came to see. So Wendy thought about it for a while. She really did kind of want to collect rocks and shells. They were pretty. And she really thought the water was kind of cold, but her sister seemed to really like it. And the idea of burying her brother was pretty cool. So I wish it was all back the way it was, Wendy said. And Wendy and her family had the best day ever. She loves the grass more than ever still, but she learned to love other things too. And she's come across some things that she doesn't like very much, but it's okay. But she's never, ever wanted everything to be all the same again. The end. All right, my friends. Let's go outside for some community time. Grown-ups, could you sing us out? Yeah.
Well, how are we all feeling with a little chocolate in us now? Good. That's the point. We're supposed to. So my question to you this morning is, I have several questions, but the first is, what dream career would you have if not for your current or former career? What would you have loved to do? Perhaps it's a hobby of yours or a side gig. Perhaps it's not even realistic. Since a very young age, my dream job is working at Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. From the moment that I knew, and it was way into adulthood that I understood this, chocolatier was an actual job description. I have wanted to be a chocolatier. Working with the sacred substance, bringing joy to so many. It sounds like an amazing gig, but I also know that the work-life balance is not great. And I really can't bear to think of the thought of being around chocolate that much and what that might do to my love of chocolate. The Marquis de Sévigné, hundreds of years ago, said this: if you are not feeling well, if you have not slept, chocolate will revive you. But you have no chocolate. I think of that again and again. My dear, how will you ever manage? That is usually my emotions when it comes to chocolate. What is your relationship to chocolate? As a child, I would hide it in my room, only rarely eating it because it was such a treat. And it was usually milk chocolate. It was the truffles that the Girl Scouts sold back then. It was milk chocolate in all the branded forms, hot chocolate whenever I could find it. And I got to say, my childhood taste buds for chocolate were horrible. It just were not good at all. In college, I took a class called ethnobotany, how plants and humans interact. And through that, I actually wrote a research paper and presented around the country how 4 important flavors mattered to our world, one of those being chocolate. And of course, I had the most popular display at all of the symposiums because I had samples at my booth. So that was helpful. I think I actually did get an award for that, but I'm going to blame it on the samples. But it really helped me to think about the nature of chocolate and really look at things in depth. I mean, that was the first time that I knew Tootsie Rolls are not actually chocolate. They don't have cocoa butter. That is what, it has to be chocolate and cocoa butter to make actual chocolate. When I turned 30, and I noticed today, as some of you came forward, we did not all go through this phase, but when I turned 30, suddenly milk chocolate was repulsive. And I wanted chocolate, the darker the better. And so I am adamantly a dark chocolate person now. I've read books on chocolate. I really enjoyed The Chocolate Wars, written by Deborah Cadbury, the descendant of the Cadburys. I've taken truffle making classes. I've made chocolates for people. Like I said, I really do love chocolate. But I'm really picky these days about what chocolate I actually consume. I begin every day with 8 ounces of drinking chocolate, and it's not I'm not advertising anyone here. This is just my reusable cup. But what is in here every Sunday morning that you come is actually drinking chocolate. So it's oat milk mixed with very dark chocolate. Fascinating fact. And I had a favorite chocolatier in Oklahoma. Like, we were on a first name basis. That's how frequently I was there. And I have not yet found one in Birmingham, although I do think that's a good goal for my sabbatical. Would you like me to come back with a reference? I'll work on that. I try whenever possible to buy fair trade or organic, but I'm extremely picky about a high cocoa content and the flavors mixed within. And, as you'll hear in a minute, I will not eat chocolate from one particular company. So, which flavors do you like mixed with your chocolate? Just shout them out. I'm hearing some good flavors. I think I heard onion. Did someone say onion? Okay. Okay, all right. There are lots of great flavors. My favorites are mint and orange, but I only like chocolate where it's mixed in, not a filling. That doesn't work for me. Less than a decade ago, as I mentioned earlier, Unitarian Universalism started a ritual about chocolate called Chocolate Communion to celebrate the joy of chocolate. And I'm curious what you have thought about the ritual today, and I'm seeing if this is something you might want to do again next year. But celebrating chocolate as part of a religious ritual was not something invented by Unitarian Universalists. In fact, it goes back thousands of years, over 5,000 years to be exact, to Mesoamerica, now called Mexico. The cacao tree was first domesticated in Ecuador and Peru, but quickly moved to Mexico, where the Olmecs, the Aztecs, and the Mayans were among the first to create a culture infused with cacao, medicinally, spiritually, and they used cacao as a currency. Their consumption for thousands of years was in its liquid form. I'm sorry, I should have a better cup up here, but in its liquid form as a beverage. And often, and I'm so grateful for the donation of chocolate wine this morning, because they often fermented the pulp around the seeds to have an alcoholic chocolate beverage. So we're going much back in time here. Another recipe they used was a cold drink of chocolate mixed with corn puree and laced with chili, allspice, and vanilla. Now, for the Aztecs, their love of chocolate was particularly notable because the cacao tree did not grow in their native homeland. So they actually had to be friends with the Mayans so that they could keep getting their chocolate supply. I'm using a lot of these words interchangeably, so I just want to clarify. Cacao is the plant. Cocoa is the plant after it has been processed. And chocolate is a further step in processing cocoa. Y'all knew that, right? Experts on chocolate, yes. We aren't sure exactly when what we know as chocolate emerged, but we know it was on the scene in at least 600 before the Common Era. It was seen back in 600 BCE as a heart-healthy remedy and was used in religious rituals for its psychedelic properties. Now, if anyone is having that experience this morning, I would love to hear about it. In 1519, as you all may have heard, the Aztec Emperor Montezuma shared chocolate with Hernan Cortez. And Cortez and his men then subsequently destroyed the Aztec Empire. Upon his return home, Cortez took the seeds of the cacao plant and chocolate was introduced to Spain, ironically using its Aztec name, chocolato. It remained a drink, but the Spanish removed the chili, and they added sugar or honey, and the drink spread throughout Europe and eventually back to the Americas. President Thomas Jefferson said this: "The superiority of chocolate, both for health and nourishment, will soon give it the same preference over tea and coffee in America which it has in Spain." Now, chocolate only became solid in 1847 when British chocolatiers Fry's of Bristol, Cadbury's of Birmingham in the UK, and Rowntree's of York created the first mass-produced chocolate bar. The mass-produced chocolate industry began with a keen eye on the treatment of workers. Cadbury, in particular, gave each of his workers a home, like not an apartment, but an actual home, and made sure all of their needs were met. They had healthcare facilities, they had everything that they need. And he traveled abroad multiple times to advocate that his chocolate was not produced under the evil of slavery. The first chocolate bar was dark, not milk, because it took until 1875 for the Swiss to figure out that they needed to use powdered milk to keep it fresh and shelf stable. This discovery led to the creation of, in my opinion, the most evil company in the world. You think I'm kidding? This is a decades-long boycott at this point. Does anyone know what company I'm talking about? Yes. See, y'all are such good Unitarians. Yes, Nestle. I'm going to have some Nestle Men in Black knocking on my door. I know you're thinking, they're a Swiss company. I mean, how evil could they be? Quick sidebar. The former CEO of Nestle once asserted that water is not a human right and should be sold. And while that is awful, also, for decades, Nestle has gone into sub-Saharan Africa, Central and South America, Asia, gone to some of the poorest regions of the world, and will give mothers of new babies free formula for 6 weeks, just long enough for their milk to dry up, and then are there, ready to sell them formula. I think it's absolutely evil. And when this came to light in 1977, Nestle was boycotted by a lot of places until 1984. And while Nestle claims that they have cleaned up their act, human rights groups claim this practice endures today. I know. And I didn't know this, and I, like I said, have already hated them for a long time. But researchers found during the height of the boycott that 212,000 infants were dying per year due to this practice of Nestle. Now, the study did not include recent research because, again, Nestle claims they've cleaned up their act. But back then, they've actually documented so many infant deaths because of this. And to get back on topic, we're here for goodness and chocolate. I literally celebrated the day that Ferrero Rocher bought Butterfinger, Crunch, and some of those other treats from Nestle so that I could finally eat them again. I remember the day. It was so glorious. I just had to have a Butterfinger. Okay. Today, most cacao producers are on the other side of the world from where this all began. Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana, and Indonesia are the 3 largest producers. And like many of our supply chains, unfortunately, they originate in slavery. And it is important, as our finances and accessibility allow, for us to support companies who are actively trying to end slavery on chocolate farms. Buying fair trade, even though I did that this morning, isn't enough. Only 15% of fair trade farmers actually make a living wage. So we need to do what we can to research the brands we love and to make our best judgment and do what we can where we can. We can all make strides to support brands which support human rights. And we've been doing that a lot the last couple of weeks, haven't we? Which brings me to the other evil of Nestle, because I can't let them go. The creation of white chocolate. Now, Nestle, again, not wanting to put anything to waste, they saw this byproduct of chocolate. They wondered if they might be able to coat vitamins with this substance, but they decided, hey, we could also sell this as candy. And so in 1984, white chocolate landed in the United States. And it was marketed not because of its flavor, but because of its color. Cocoa butter, also known as the oil found in cacao pods, is mixed with milk and sugar to create white chocolate. Some white chocolate you see advertised has no chocolate at all. In fact, they've replaced the cocoa butter with hydrogenated palm oil, which is a whole nother sermon. White chocolate is surprisingly more expensive than regular chocolate. And it's worse for your health because it doesn't have the beautiful health of the cacao. And yet it's also great. I'm not knocking anybody. No yucking people's yums. If you want some creamy sugar, go ahead. That's what it is. But it's not actually chocolate, just for the record. But the real reason I wanted to share in chocolate communion with you today is this. Chocolate is good for us, especially chocolate that has over 70% cocoa content. Arnold Ishmash in The Darker Side of Chocolate said this: "All of the evil that people have thrust upon chocolate is really more deserved by milk chocolate, which is essentially contaminated. The closer you get to a pure chocolate liqueur, the chocolate essence ground from roasted cacao beans, the purer it is, the more satisfying it is, the safer it is, the healthier it is." So that's not to say if you like milk chocolate to not enjoy it, but if you are taking on chocolate for health benefits, the darker the better. So here's some of the things that chocolate does for you. Chocolate increases your heart health. The antioxidants in dark chocolate have been shown to lower blood pressure, reduce the risk of clotting, and increase blood circulation to the heart, lowering the risks of stroke, coronary heart disease, and death from heart disease. It's literally good for you. I know you didn't believe me, did you? It also balances your immune system. The flavonols prevent the immune system from going into overdrive and reduce that oxidative stress, which is an imbalance caused by cells fighting against free radicals and is a common cause of many diseases. It also combats diabetes. Epicatechin, I'm probably saying that wrong. It protects cells, it makes them stronger, and supports the processes that help the body make insulin better, which can help with that. It also improves brain function with those flavonols. It helps us to have a better reaction time, visual spatial awareness, and stronger memory. One reason of this is because of those flavonols increasing blood flow to our brains. It boosts athletic performance. We should be giving this to all the athletes out there. It increases the production of nitric oxide in the blood, which supports circulation, all those things. And most importantly, and this is why I really wanted to do this morning, it reduces stress. People who eat dark chocolate report that they are less stressed and they have less cortisol after eating chocolate, not stress. This may be related to dark chocolate's effects on heart health because stress is a relative of cardiovascular disease. Chocolate is good for our mental health too. A bite of chocolate can alter perspective and can help us when times are rough. In Harry Potter, when the soul-sucking Dementors come after them, there's only one thing that cures their mind and soul, and that is having a bite of chocolate. Friends, we need to remember these tiny things that bring us joy and comfort in the days ahead. Keep chocolate on you to hand out to people who need a pick-me-up. Linda Grayson said, "There's nothing better than a good friend except a good friend with chocolate." Chocolate is good for our hearts and our minds. Maybe chocolate is one of those things that brings you joy and comfort. Maybe it's coffee, the favorite god of Unitarian Universalism. Or maybe it's tea or juice or milk or whatever it is. Whenever you have it, savor it with intentionality. Enjoy the sweetness of life. Enjoy the human ingenuity over centuries to put what is in our hands today. Enjoy the creativity chocolate continues to inspire today. May you be solid when you can, and may you be held when you need to melt. May you savor the richness of life until we meet again. Amen, and blessed be.
Please rise in body or spirit for our hymn and join together in singing number 1031 in our soft cover hymnal. If you would like to join the church this morning, please come forward during the closing hymnal.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be well.
Announcements. It's not too late to join a connection circle, and for those of you who have signed up, you should have received an email this week. Please work with your group and plan your first meeting. Our time together is sacred. This Wednesday at noon, our Long Living Liberals Luncheon. If you consider yourself long in the tooth, as Phil described last week, or retired or free during the week and want to help out, we invite you to a luncheon with Reverend Julie to check in. Please RSV on your connection card or through the church office. You'll note you have 2 inserts in your order of service today. One is to please join our church signal chat if you want to stay up to date on social justice actions. You will need to identify yourself to get into the group for safety reasons. Please look those over and connect with anything that seems to be of interest. We are not saying those aloud intentionally. Online folks, if you email the church office, we can send you the inserts. If you'd like to offer a sermon, if you would like to offer a sermon, plan a service, or be a worship associate during Reverend Julie's sabbatical, please let us know your interest. If you're new to the church or visiting or have any questions, we invite you to meet with Reverend Julie on February 23rd after the service. For any of these events, please sign up on your connection card. We also have 2 announcements from the decorating committee. Diane Tucker invites you to a reception this Saturday, February 15th, to close her sanctuary art exhibit. The reception will be here in the sanctuary from 2 to 4 p.m. All are welcome. The deadline for entries in Decorating Committee's Name That Picture competition is today. Don't miss your chance to choose the subject of a future sermon by Reverend Julie. Entry forms and receptacle are on the sanctuary art exhibit table to the rear of the sanctuary. Be sure to include your contact information and the subject and medium on the orange picture above the credenza and the narthex. The winner will be randomly drawn from all correct entries at the upcoming Sunday service. Good luck. Next Sunday, Stan Johnson from Alabama Arise will be here to share legislative priorities. Today's extinguishing is a call and response. In honor of the legacy of our ancestors, let us carry the flame forward as we extinguish the chalice. As we extinguish this chalice, we give thanks to the simple joys that enrich our lives, for the warmth of the community, the sweetness of connection, and the deep richness of love, as comforting as a cup of cocoa on a winter's night. May we carry forward the richness of this gathering, the warmth of shared kindness, and the sweetness of justice and compassion. Though this flame fades, may the spirit of delight remain, like the lingering taste of chocolate on the tongue, reminding us that joy, like love, is meant to be savored and shared.
May we go in peace, wrapped in warmth, and ready to share our sweetness with the world.
Amen, Ashe, and blessed be.